Hello everyone and welcome to Herrenhaus, the 5th round of GT Super Series this season in one of the most technical tracks available in Second Life. Today with me, for the first races at least, Luke Carmona.
Hello everyone.
And later on will join us for a bit Kira Restrepo as well. So whenever he comes, he will greet you properly. So, round 5 of the GTSS Championship. People have been practicing a lot. We can see now how they are doing some laps. I should do some of them as well. I will do, in fact, in a few moments. But yeah, this track is quite technical. It's quite difficult for any novelty racer. So the difference, the gap between the strongest drivers and the weakest ones might be bigger than usual. But I have to say, I have seen people practicing a lot, and I can tell that those that have prepared the track properly are quite close with each other. Like, I am not even sure who will be able to qualify for race A directly. How are you feeling?
We've all had well, we've all had 3 weeks to practice because we had an off week the week before. So a lot of people have. It was good to have that long break before this race because the people really do need to get a knack for this place. It's extremely technical. The hills can throw you for a loop sometimes because of the shift in momentum. And I'm feeling okay about it. There's the traffic might be a little. Oh dear, sorry, Taylor. Traffic might be a little difficult to deal with. I'm not sure how much people have practiced around others. This could be, some of them, their first experiences running on track against other cars before the race starts. So we'll see how that translates when the races get going. But I think you're right with the qualifying times. We're not really sure where anyone's going to end up. And because the track is so technical and anything could happen, you could get some of the fastest drivers knocked down again, like what happened to Valky last time.
Yeah, here is most likely to happen something like that, because it is very easy, especially because of the nerf, you know, to just make a little mistake, and here mistakes are paid quite expensively. We also saw some rookie drivers performing quite well during the practices, so maybe some of them give us a surprise, you know.
Yeah,
like
I think
Hina or Cenizo have been doing quite good times, and we see that Suzuka has been practicing also a lot, and she's doing times, I believe, enough to show up in race B directly.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I think one of the big key things in regards to the races today is going to be patience. And that's not just for the people who are dealing with others around them. It's the leaders themselves even. Because this track is like the S section, for example, near the back corner. Those 2 or 3 really tight hairpins that are back to back going up and down hills. You actually have to be far more patient than you think, because if you overdrive those corners, that entire section is compromised, and therefore the exit, and you could lose 1 to 2 seconds just from there alone sometimes.
Yes, 1 second at least is very easy to lose in that section. It's also important to be careful with the chicane, because it is easy as well there to just step on the slow zone, and sometimes it only affects you in the end, but other times these cars tend to enter the tunnel quite close to each other. Stepping on here might lead you to block the car behind, and that blocking the other car behind, and causing a bit of a mess there. So yeah, it's important to be clean, to be focused, to be concentrated, to try to do the laps with the turns with the less mistakes possible. And if you don't lose your nerves, it's very hard for people to pass you, because the track itself doesn't have many spots to pass people, and if you make them more or less clean, it is less likely to happen. So don't get nervous and try to be the most precise possible.
Touching back on that mention of the chicane right after the tunnel, that's going to be another pretty crucial spot, especially when you're dealing with others. If you attempt to make a move going into that chicane, you'd better buckle up and be ready to get grassed, because it's a lot of people are still getting the hang of how to race in these tight quarters. Even though this track is fairly wide, it feels so narrow going at these speeds with it as twisty as it is. So you have to be, this is again where the patience thing comes in, make smart moves. You can't just brute force your way past people. If you don't feel confident in the person that you're racing against, or if you know that you might risk compromising not only yourself but them as well, then it's best to just wait. Sometimes it could take you 2-3 laps before you can actually get by somebody.
Yep, exactly. So lot of patience, good racing, and your moment will arrive, because you can be sure that no one is free from mistakes on this track. Even the leads will make some mistakes sometimes on this track. We have a lot of experience on here. I believe since season 2 or 3 that this track exists, and we race here, and even the cars that lead the race, even them make mistakes and give you the chance to pass them. So just stay behind people, don't rush stuff, and you will get the position at some point if you are you make less mistakes than your rivals.
And one big interesting note that I'd like to make, which could be a important factor in the races today, is the exit of turn 1, where the cars will just occasionally, not always, but sometimes, they'll hit that section and then all grip is lost. It's like there's sand or dirt on the track. So you might see a bit of understeering, a lot of people probably going out into the wall, which could compromise speed down the straight, and you might see a number of moves being made into turn 1 as a result.
Okay, I think I've done enough laps to show people how the track is about. Now let's take a quick look to something that Candy gave me a few minutes ago, that I find it quite interesting, and I am pretty sure everyone who's watching will find it as well, which is a mini guide about the track itself.
Yes, I recall she made kind of a what the word evades me. Like a catalog, or not catalog. Just like a little booklet, just a booklet of the track. She made it for GP1 2 seasons ago or something like that. I'm not sure if she's updated it for as of late, but it's a very neat little thing that she threw together.
So here it is, the guide. Willkommen in Motorpark Herrenhaus, because of course Herrenhaus, in case someone didn't notice already, it is located in this little country here. Maybe many especially people who's not from Europe won't recognize, but Liechtenstein is a little country between Switzerland and Austria, which is one of these micro countries that exist in Europe, like San Marino or Monaco or so. So there they speak German, and here we have a little summary of what this track is about. This scenic 1,432 kilometer 12-turn road course is set in the beautiful Samina Valley in the Alps of Liechtenstein, several kilometers east of the capital Vaduz. Liechtenstein has long been a haven for many forms of sports, including skiing, snowboarding, equestrianism, tax dodging, and tennis. since I can relate. Since the construction of Motor Park Herrenhaus, the Central European microstate has rapidly become a destination for those with the need for speed and desire to burn fuel and money. Since opening in 2023, Herrenhaus has hosted a variety of prestigious virtual racing events. One of the longest circuits on the Grand Prix 1 calendar, the Liechtenstein Grand Prix, has been held twice. Only twice? I thought it was more.
I think 2 sounds about right, actually.
The inaugural running was won by Jesus Crisp of Sanakan GP. Let's go! The old Sanakan GP team that I was owner of in that season that JC and Valky raced together. The second season they raced together, actually, because the season before they were racing for the grind. And pulling away from Kira Restrepo and Ellie Bennett, Crisp could suffer issues in the 2024A event, leaving Candy tomorrow of Husaya Racing to eke out a strategy win over Emmy Blueberry and Cambrian Fan Smith. That was the season that we won, actually, the championship, right? The Constructors Championship. Here we have a map of the track with the name of the different turns. Yes, all of them have a name. The lap starts as Traisenberg-Girard quickly meets the right Rottenbotten hairpin. A tidy exit is crucial as the left Maseska corner immediately follows, leading onto the first of 2 parallel straights, leading to the twin lefts of Versbrochen-Hochle. Sorry if I mean people know that I live in Germany, but I don't speak German yet, or at least not. I don't have enough knowledge yet of the language to pronounce some of the things. Swooping around these 2 cambered corners, the circuit descends to Saminatal. This sharp left punishes errors with the tunnel wall on the immediate right. Drivers blinded by the light exiting the tunnel are attacked by the track signature sections. Das Wochend is a flat-out right kink into Sus Zukunft, taken as fast as you dare. Next is a short uphill run into Steg Complex. This combination of left, right, left switchbacks and undulate down and back up, presenting opportunities for overtakes and close racing onto the upcoming straight. The fast left Suka can be taken flat at the risk of ruin. The Vangerberg hairpin follows. This right hairpin starts sharp, then opens onto the long Traisenberg-Girard, completing the lap. I have some story about the track that we can read later, because Emi is about to give us some about to start the meeting, so I will just leave this here open so you can read it if you want. And in the meantime, I will tell you what Emi has to tell to us today. I'm gonna make this car legal, by the way.
A quick fun fact about Liechtenstein, before Emmy starts talking, is that it is the only country that has sent men to war, but those men came back with more numbers than they left with.
For real? I didn't know that. What war was that?
I do not recall exactly, but they were defectors from another nation that came back with them.
Wow.
And no one was lost.
Great country, Liechtenstein. Not in size, but in history. Hemi, I'm doing a head count, and it looks like we only have 15 drivers today only. I'll know for sure after qualify. But if so, then we will only be doing Group A and Group B race today. So this might be the first race of the season where we have only 2 groups. So far it was always 3 groups, A, B and C, because we were 16 or more people, but today, if we are finally 15, it will be 2 races instead. This means if you qualify good enough, you can join directly race A. If so, then race A will be 29 laps and race B will be 24.
You'd think Jesus would be in this race, but he's sitting up there in the stands.
But first, let's talk about qualifying.
Oh no, we should have more than 15 because there's Thunderwave all the way back there sitting too. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 with Thunder.
Oh, then that's gonna be 5, 5, 6. Just a few reminders. As always, we will be doing one lap qualifying, which is one out lap, so the lap that you are exiting the pit lane, one hot lap, that is the actual lap that you make, and the cooldown lap, that is the lap you make after doing your hot lap, that is the one that you use to go back to the pit lane. Because remember, you do not enter pit lane backwards. Please don't. Please stop doing it. It's even more epic. It's more like environmental to do the complete track again to enter pit lanes. Just do that. It's barely any 30 seconds of time you lose maybe, and it's better for both for other cars and for the environment.
Yeah, just treat it like an extra lap of practice.
Yeah, as well. The last part being very important. I know this track is long, but it's very important. Capital letters. You do your cool down lap and enter pits the right way. Do not stop after your hot lap and go into pits backwards. What we just said, basically. If you do, something bad will happen. So don't do it. Behave. Are there any questions before we start qualifying? Lou Carmona says. Nope. Cenizo says. XDD. So I guess we will start in a moment. I will use my full driver outfit. No questions from Suzuka. I'll see it again, just in case. We finish with the credits here. Architect Candy Tomorrow of the track, consultants Jesus Crisp, Cameron Finesmith and Luke Carmona, suppliers Donovan Michalski, Amy Blueberry, Eli Bennett, and timing Les White and White's Works. Okay, drivers, please line up. Along pit lane, we will be lining up far from the track as we can. Alright.
That's right, I gotta change my suit. I'm in the wrong one. There we go. Your car's invisible, by the way. It doesn't matter right now, but for the race, just for
Okay.
As a note.
I will raise a new one later.
It's interesting how 2 GTSS races in a row, we have Thunder and Evely racing in BMWs, and then today they're both racing in Audis.
Might be Thunder is Evely's sister, and they are playing with us. Valky will do qualify in second place. Evely will do it in third place. A lot of the top tier drivers are gonna establish the best time, the first times in the first laps. Yorkie, after Evely, will try to achieve her first race A, official race A, because remember that she already made race A in the last race outlaws.
No, 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 no,
race.
no. Shh.
Oh,
That race
that
never happened.
happened. That happened.
Never happened.
The fictional race that happened in a simulator online, where she managed to qualify for racing. I'm gonna minimize this so I reduce the lag impact. As you know, qualify is my weak point, so I'm about to qualify for race B.
Alright, we'll keep quiet as you focus.
Yeah. Alright, let's go. .5. Okay.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty decent. Yeah, I think it's pretty fine.
I don't really see anyone going sub 40 for qualifying. We usually need like a few laps at least to get close to that. So, but we'll see. Maybe Thunder can surprise us.
Yeah, definitely. In Thunder we trust. So I'm gonna get back to pit lane so I can keep commentating. I guess it's Valky now, right? What do you see?
Yes. Yeah, Valky's currently on track. She's finishing up her hot lap, going through the S's, or exiting the S's. 2 more corners to go.
Okay, I'm gonna place the car here for a moment before I keep going.
That was a really good exit of the final turn to the line. A 40.5, so she just barely nips it ahead of you.
So that's a P2 or P1?
P1.
Oh, okay. I don't start on pole. It's okay.
Yeah, she's only a few tenths or hundredths ahead.
Okay, we have Evelyn now. We don't have the board right here, or do we?
Oh, yeah. There's no board out.
Evelyn, who's trying to take the pole here. Right now, it's Valky P1 and myself P2. And Evelyn is gonna make a 40.8. That's P3 for Evelyn. It's quite hard to make these good times in one single lap here because, yeah, it's easy to make mistakes. And here comes Yorkie Bardim.
Good run through the first corner and through the second. It's a good sweep. See how she does in this next complex of turns. It's a bit complicated being a square. You gotta really maximize that exit of the final corner going right into the tunnel. Good through the chicane.
Okay,
focus on
quite
pulling
good.
forward, so I lost sight.
It's not bad. Okay, she touches the wall. That's gonna take a few tenths from her. Let's see where she finishes. She didn't do it that bad. I think it might be still a 40s or a low 41s.
That was a good last corner.
41.3. She is for now P4. And it's Candy's turn. Candy, the creator of this track, and definitely one of the strongest drivers here. I couldn't be surprised if she takes P1 provisional at least. Until we see Thunder and Luke.
Alright, I'm up next after Zumu starts his lap, so...
Okay. I will shut up by then. Candy, who's about to complete her lap. And there she goes, main straight. Candy makes a 40.5 is P2. P2 for Candy tomorrow. That moves me to P3. So we have 40.5 already.
Yes.
And there he goes, Shermu.
And off I go.
Okay. They shut now or when you are about to start?
Now would be nice.
Okay.
Thank you. Don't expect anything spectacular out of this lap. I messed up the first section.
Shermu made P5 and Luke made P1 with a 40.0. Hit the man at 39, but...
I stand corrected.
Alright, so it's P1 for Luke that moves me to P5 already, I think. And Shermu who made P5 before, so he must be P6 now. And now it's Sam Phoenix's turn. Sam with the already classic Gremlin livery, impossibly the most beautiful car on the grid. So we have Luke P1, Evely P2, no, Valky P2, Evely P3, Candy P4, and myself P5. That's the current top 5 that would qualify for race A if we are finally 16 people. And Sam Phoenix, P8, finished the qualify. It's now turn for Arno Taurus, the only driver to use a controller on the grid. And he doesn't do bad at all under that condition.
Is Sam on their hot lap or Arno?
Arno. Sam already made P8, so it's now Arno who's doing the twisty part of the track. And here he comes.
Final corner. Good entry, decent. Bad exit.
He smashed the wall. MP7. Okay. That's race B.
Meanwhile, here comes Suzuka for her first official FVA race.
She steps on the slow zone, but it's okay because this was not the hot lap yet. Now, yes, here's where she cannot make mistakes. She goes
wide
a
through
bit
one.
wide, yeah. She goes
A bit
too
wide through that
yeah.
section too.
She's doing a bit wide the turns. There it was
Taps a
too
slow
narrow,
one.
yeah.
I mean, I've said this before. This being her very first race is like trial by fire. So, probably not. Shouldn't be expecting too much. So.
Yeah, she couldn't choose a more difficult track on the calendar, to be honest. We have to recognize that. That's gonna be a P10 for Suzuka. And now, Morticia. Morticia has the capacity to join race A directly. We'll see if she manages.
She's really latched onto that Lotus as of late. I forget what she told me about the car that she likes so much. Something about the sound. I think it sounds intimidating if she's behind. Like from someone else's point of view, her car sounds intimidating.
Yeah, she was the other day asking me what was the most noisy car. I guess she wanted to race the most noisy car precisely with that purpose. And here she comes, Morticia. P7. P7 for Morticia.
With what is effectively a 41 flat.
Yeah, almost absolutely flat. And here she comes, sorry, Thunderwave. The absolute surprise of the championship. She will most likely, I believe, make it to the race A directly. That means she's gonna kick me out to race B for the first time in the season. Let's see how she does it.
Oh, are you really on the bubble?
Yeah, because there are like 3 people with 40.5 and then you. And I think that's it.
That's true. I forget that if there's 16 people, we're going to be split into 5s.
Yes.
At least for 2 races.
So I think I mean it was Evely that made it was Shermu or Evely that made another 40. I think I'm P4 still.
No idea.
But P4 for Thunderwave with 40.552. Jesus guys, the top tier drivers besides Luke, of course, because he's another thing, are making
another thing.
They are making very constant 40.5, and Nikuri turns now the big surprise of the last weekends. Like he was performing really well in 3 weekends in a row in different categories, and now we will see if he can replicate this very same good performance today in GTSS.
Oh, there he is. I lost track of him. I couldn't see him. Is this his hot lap?
Yes, Nikuri is in his hot lap now.
Ooh, a little deep into the entry of the final corner, but he doesn't hit the wall.
And that's gonna be... no, it was not a hot... Okay, so... What?
Oh, this is his hot lap, and he overcooks turn 1.
So there was like a pause before between Nikuri and Thunderwave. Okay.
I think he took off late. Hina's coming out on track next, so here comes
Hina,
Nikuri.
Practicing a lot.
I'm gonna call it. I don't know what that. Candy actually has names for these corners.
Nikuri is stopping. Nikuri is stopping. Nikuri gives up the lap.
He may have lost steering or control of the car. Sometimes it's SL being SL with these strange instances like that. But he's gonna finish out the lap nonetheless.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Hina is coming up to start hers. Hopefully Nikuri doesn't have any more issues with his in-lap so that he doesn't impede Hina.
Yeah, true, because they are quite close now. There she goes, Hina, doing her lap. She has been practicing a lot. I couldn't be surprised if she managed to go into race A directly.
Really good through that square section of corners. I don't think she hit the slow zone. She was right on the that was brilliantly executed. Very good so far through the S's. Maybe just a little too far to the left on the entry of the final, but coming through the penultimate corner. Now the final.
That could be quite a good lap. That could be race A for Hina. P8. Okay, it's not race A, but P8 is a very good time for Hina, who's into the 40s.
It's only 3/10 slower than everyone else who's been doing 40.5.
Honestly good. I believe that the first half of the track was brilliant. Then the second half was a bit slower, but the first half was honestly level of everyone else. Hina.
Yeah, those S's are the biggest modifier in this. Just how complex they can be, and just how well. Yeah, just you really have to nail that section. Meanwhile, Tron, I can't tell. I think this is his hot lap because there's another car out on track doing the warm up.
Yes, this Tron's hot lap already. I believe he's gonna make a 41 point something. I saw some slow turns like this one. So we'll see where he finishes. That's gonna be a P13 with 42.3. And we have now Zenitho with Hina, the other rookie from the Supernova races. He has been also practicing a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised if he makes a time pretty similar to Hina. Here comes to the chicane. Very good. Quite fine.
Tron loses something and just goes smack first into the back of the grandstand. So there's a car. Oh gosh, he shouldn't. Yeah, if he doesn't have any more issues here, he does make it to pit, so he's not going to impede Zenitho.
And Zenitho's about to cross the finish line.
Hit the wall.
It's a good lap. P9 right behind Hina. They are gonna start. They made pretty much the same time.
No, Hina did a 40.83.
Oh, okay.
So 1.1 behind. If he hadn't hit the wall on the exit, he probably could have maybe at least tied with her or just nipped ahead.
So 16, and I'm P5. I qualify for race A. I suffered to make it, but I made it. So it's gonna be race C. It's gonna be Arno, Yorkie, Sam Phoenix, Tron, Suzuka, and Nikuri will do race C to qualify for race B. Race B, who's gonna be made? Who's gonna be completed with the winners? 3 top winners from race C, plus Evely, Shermu, Hina, Zenitho, and Morticia. And the final race, race A, is gonna be the 3 winners from race B, plus Luke Carmona, Valky Skylaker, Candy Tomorrow, Thunderwave, and myself. We are extremely satisfied, extremely exciting about having 3 races today. It's way better than having 2. It's true that that makes qualifying for race A more difficult, but that gives us 3 races to watch today, and I can't wait to watch them, and I can't wait to commentate them. Now everyone should meet at the tent.
Okay, I'm back. I had to take a phone call.
So yeah, we are gonna have 3 races with these people participating. Race C, Arno, Taurus, Yorkie Bardin, Sam Phoenix, Tron Udal, Suzuka, and Nikuri. Who are your favorites for this first race, Luke?
I'm still just a tad distracted, so I didn't really hear everything you said. I'm trying to set up the timing tower. So sorry. Race C is
Arno Taurus, Yorkie Bardin, Sam Phoenix, Tron Udal, Suzuka Takahashi, and Nikuri.
Well, I think I see it being Arno, Yorkie, and Nikuri making it through. Sam could put up a very good fight. Suzuka and Tron could do it too. Suzuka, I'm sure, is gonna be able to get a hang of this in traffic. She'll probably be there in the mix, with the potential to move through. But again, it is her first race. This is an extremely difficult track, so it's not that I'm holding low expectations in that kind of sense, but it's just a very difficult track, and she's still new to these cars.
I have the feeling that the 3 people who's gonna qualify for race B are gonna be.
Okay, I gotta go again. More phone calls.
No worries. So, Arnotaurus is very likely to qualify. He has the level to race in race B. The only thing is that he tends to, even doing good qualifies, to have issues in race that might lead him to not be able to complete the achievement of qualifying for race B. So I'm pretty certain that Yorkie Bardeen is gonna qualify. I'm pretty certain that Sam Phoenix is gonna qualify, and the third one could be Arno if he doesn't have any issues, or if he has issues and he cannot complete the race. I believe Nikuri is gonna be the third person to qualify. Might be even Nikuri qualifies without Arno's issues. The thing is that Nikuri starts from the last position, and he's gonna have to deal with Suzuka and with Trom before even closing the gap to Arno, Yorkie, and Sam, who are the best positions to qualify for race B. In the meantime, Emmy. Okay, it looks like we ended up having just enough for a Group C race, so this means race C and race B will be 18 laps today. Before we start, I'll just go over some stuff everyone should already know. So let's see what Emmy has to tell us today. She's typing. Herrenhaus is a very technical track, so all drivers need to be driving smart today. Use your brakes. Do not be dive bombing people. Respect your fellow drivers on track and give a room to each other. Are there any questions before we start? I think we don't have any questions. We are all used to these races. We only want to see the action. It seems that Kira, by the way, didn't manage to do it in time, so we will continue the live stream with Luke and I, at least race C and race B, because for race A we will shut up and we will be back after the race, because we need to focus for the race. Exactly. Group C: Arnotaurus, Yorkie Bardeen, Sam Phoenix, Ton Udall, Suzuka Takahashi, and Nikuri. 3 of these drivers are gonna qualify for race B. Which 3 are gonna be? This is what we are going to see right now. Let's place ourselves in the spectator zone.
Yeah, usually we have seats here, but I was so busy all week long with the SL22B exhibit and then yesterday with real life that I like all of the GTSC reserves are still here, and I didn't place a timing board and no chairs, so
it is okay. What's most important here is watching the racing. People can sit on the floor like it used to be in the old times. Oh, now already do this thing so the car is visible. We see Nikuri already placed in the 6th gate with the Toyota Supra, one of the brand new cars available now to drive on GTSS. Arnotaurus with the Morgan already in his P1 spot. Pole position in race C for Arnotaurus. Here comes Yorkie Bardeen with the Honda NSX, one of the best sport cars ever made, and not many people mention it when they think about the best sport cars in history. To me, Honda NSX is a must in any list of best sports cars in history. What do you think, Luke?
I mean, it's a nice car. I don't really have any particular favorites for any kind of.
Would you place the Honda NSX over the Ferrari F40?
Neither. I just have a more broad appreciation for all cars and the reasons they were created for. They're like the F40 was created for something completely different. The Honda NSX was made for just as like a test to show what Honda could do. That ended up going racing. Yeah. They all have their charms, so I can't really rank them too much. And there are just way too many cars, so.
From P5 we'll start Suzuka with the Corvette. From P4 we'll start Tron Udall with the Porsche 911. And from P3, Sam Phoenix with the most beautiful car in the history of racing. What model is this, Luke? Because I don't know it.
30 seconds until green.
What's
out.
Sam Phoenix car? What model is it?
It is a Mosler Raptor.
Alright, the Raptor. Let's gonna call it. 30 seconds to start. 18 laps. Only 3 drivers will qualify. Who are gonna be? We will find out in a moment. Let's see, especially this first turn, because it tends to be quite critical. And there they go. Tron, bad start. Yorkie takes the inner over Arno, but Arno takes the inner in the next turn, and they stay.
Sam trying to make a move. It's 3 wide into the corner.
Yorkie takes the lead in the inner. Yeah. Arno Taurus is P2 now behind Yorkie. Sam Phoenix go 2 wide, but still managed to keep the position. No, because Tron takes the position over Sam. No, they are not. He's not trying it because now Tron takes the position because Sam stepped on the slow zone, but Sam is gonna try to keep it before the hairpin. She takes the inner in the hairpin and takes P3. Nikuri takes P4 over Tron as well. Nikuri is already in the fight for qualify, but Tron is trying to take the position over Nikuri now. Tron is very close to Nikuri and he takes the inner. Tron takes the inner over Nikuri and he's fighting for P4 under the tunnel, but he won't be able to keep it here.
Suzuka making a diving move up the inside of Tron, but the slow zone stops that effort. Tron making a move on Nikuri now.
Very nice move from Tron.
Oh, almost. Okay, they're tangling quite a bit, and Suzuka now takes advantage of that opportunity and sweeps past them both.
That was quite a clean attempt from Tron. It's very...
Oh, now she drops right back behind both of them again. As she enters the corner a bit too wide. What happened?
No! Nikuri crashed against the wall, but still takes the position. No. It's gonna be Suzuka from the outer, or Tron steps the slow zone, but still keeps position. It's still Tron ahead. Tron is still ahead. Meanwhile, Suzuka tries to take position over Nikuri, but okay, no, this twisty part, they are not gonna switch positions.
They're gonna have to settle down here and start getting into a rhythm because Sam is just pulling away and she's got Arno's draft, so it's gonna be a battle for P2 here, perhaps here in a few laps, if not this lap. So we'll see now. Tron is keeping it in front so far. They look like they have stopped their tussling, and Tron does pretty well on his own merit. He was keeping up with me, for example, for about 3/4 of a lap earlier in practice. So if they just leave each other alone here, they might catch up. Because Sam there, she keeps hitting slow zones.
Now Sam stops in the slow zone. Yorkie is leading comfortably. Arno is quite comfortable in P2, but Sam, if she keeps stepping on the slow zones, these three guys behind are gonna try to take P3. Cherno on the chat, Porsche, I am coming into that channel and yell at you in angry German. Feel free to do so, Cherno, you are more than welcome. Porsche, sorry, Porsche. Because that capital E, I guess that was the message. Porsche.
Yes.
Yeah, the fight continues. I mean, actually, the fight for P4 is at the moment more intense than the fight for any of the three first positions, who are quite decided already. Like Yorkie, I mean, unless they mess it up, Yorkie, and there Nikuri tries to take P4 over Tron from the inner, but Tron keeps the inner in the immediate next lap. Tron just jumped by crossing the curb, and that keeps both Nikuri and Suzuka the advantage in the fight for the P4. But now Tron tries again to take P5 over Suzuka, who makes it before the twisty part. He steps the slow zone and blocks Suzuka. That's gonna give some advantage to Nikuri, who also steps the slow zone. They are all the time stepping on the slow zone and like slowing down themselves to try to take that P3. They cannot keep making these mistakes.
It's very easy to get thrown off when you're trying to focus on the other cars around you. This track is so technical, and trying to maintain your position can also be just as technical. Yorkie, very nice and easy, healthy gap up front. Arno's keeping a pretty steady gap ahead of Sam, who's actually been very slowly losing ground on him. With Nikuri now leading that trio at the back. Tron making a diving move up the inside. Does let off, doesn't force him out to the wall, and concedes the position to Nikuri again into turn 1. Who hits the slow zone, and now it's nose to tail coming into 3. Jesus. Tron jumps the
second time again. The thing
Not
is
as bad as the first time,
if Sam makes these mistakes, but these three people are on top of doing the same mistakes and fighting each other, they are never gonna reach P3. They need to calm down, follow each other, do not attempt the pass, and wait until they reach San Phoenix. Is the only chance they have to qualify for race B. Otherwise, the three of them are at the moment eliminated.
Well, I will say, Tron, yet again, made a diving move up the inside, but it actually might have helped this time, because it hooked Nikuri's right rear and kind of slingshotted him around the corner. So we'll see how that does in terms of the gap, because it does look like it is still coming down.
We are in lap 8.
Of 18. Still a lot of racing to go, so this is still wide open for third place.
Yeah, half the race to go.
It still could be wide open for it, because we've seen multiple times. Let's hope Arno doesn't have another mechanical failure, as he has had twice in the past.
Yeah. And Tron takes P4 over Nikuri because Nikuri went too wide.
Well, not quite.
And now
side by side into turn 1. They hook a bit, that's slowing them down. But it is Tron who has...
Yeah, Nikuri is gonna try to take the inner. He does, and he takes... slow zone. A slow zone, and Tron keeps position. A slow zone again from Nikuri, and a slow zone again from Nikuri. 3 slow zones in a row. That gives Tron some air, but he just wasted it because he stepped on the slow zone as well.
Quite as penalizing that slow zone that Tron hit, because they're going so slow in the first place. So nothing really gained, nothing really lost. And he's actually increased the gap on Nikuri in that last set of corners. And again, despite all this, they somehow are at times gaining on Sam, but I don't really see... I think overall the gap has been staying the same. They keep fighting too much, they keep making too many mistakes, and it's costing them their chances here. But there's still, again, plenty of laps to go. It's only lap 10. 11, technically. They've completed 10 laps.
Yeah. Another...
Arno, kind of his final corner. Jumps across the grass.
Now Nikuri is gonna take the position. No! Nikuri against the wall! Nikuri,
And he's
Nikuri is
stuck.
stuck! Nikuri is stuck! Nikuri got stuck against the wall! Nikuri just lost the opportunity to qualify for race B. He's not gonna make it. Nikuri just lost all his chances to qualify for race B because he won't make he won't make it in 7 laps. Impossible.
No, we don't know. Like, we haven't seen Nakuri's true pace yet, so this is his opportunity to show us what he can really do without any draft or traffic throwing him off. It's a little bit of a shaky start with this lap since the accident, but we'll see how he does here in the next few. Lap 12 has been completed. We're halfway done with that, with Yorkie well ahead of Arno, who is even further ahead of Sam than Yorkie is from Arno. And Tron, meanwhile, still about the same gap. We'll see if he has the pace on his own without any error. Nope, he cuts through grass, hits the wall. Oh boy.
They are very nervous.
I think that Tron does technically have the speed. He has the speed to catch up. He's just lacking the consistency at this track right now.
Tron has 6 laps to try to catch up Yorkie and qualify for race B. Otherwise, he will be eliminated. Now he's not fighting against anyone. Nikuri is at the bottom of the field, and he needs to focus. He needs to focus and reduce his mistakes. Otherwise, he won't be able to catch up Sam, who's still closer right now than before.
Yes, and Nakuri is catching up here on Suzuka. Suzuka's doing pretty good out there. I'm just keeping an eye on her every now and again. Pretty smooth laps, just a little wide here and there, which is compromising some of those lap times. But it's a cleanly conservative effort from Suzuka, which is about all anyone can expect right now. So just nice and clean, keeping it there where it needs to be. Tron, meanwhile, is very slowly taking out on that gap again. There are only 4 laps to go. 3.5 now, technically speaking.
Nikuri is gonna try the little achievement of passing Sukura and not finishing in last position, but that's pretty much everything he can try to achieve on this race right now, because that accident slowed him a lot. Meanwhile, Tron is not closing the gap with Sam anymore. It seems the position is quite stuck already. Like, I don't see Tron being able to cut the gap in only 3 laps or 2.5 laps that we are now. Meantime, Yorkie with a huge advantage over anyone else. We see her crossing the finish line with Arno 6.4 seconds behind. Sam Phoenix 11.2, who's right now qualified for race B, and Tron
Suzuka passing Nakuri.
Suzuka, let's see this fight here.
Almost did.
Nikuri took the position, but Suzuka is gonna fight it back. Suzuka fighting the MVP of the last 3 weeks.
Oh, she tried to not go off track there, and in turn T-boned Nakuri, but they all stayed pretty steady, so no harm done really.
We got from the chat Chris Cricri sending me a message. Hello Cricri, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoying the stream, where your 2 teammates, both Arno and Sam Phoenix, right now are qualified for race B. Who's not qualified and won't definitely is Nikuri, who's fighting against Suzuka for the last position right now. And this is the last lap, by the way.
Over to Yorkie, because Yorkie is coming around the final corner to finish the race in first place.
Nikuri steps on the slow zone again. This could be Suzuka's opportunity to take this would be P5, right? Yes. But doesn't look like she's gonna make it.
Just a little bit too far back to make that work, so.
Unfortunately, it won't be possible for Suzuka, who's gonna finish in last place, with Yorkie Bardeen qualifying in first place for race B. Amazing race from Yorkie. Here she is. Arno Taurus, who didn't face any technical issue, and that means qualifying for race B. I didn't have any doubt about him that if he didn't have any issue, he would qualify for this second race. And P3 for Sam Phoenix, that honestly, it's not like she had a bad pace, but if Arno Trong, if Nikuri, Trong and Suzuka didn't lose so much time fighting each other, I honestly believe Nikuri or Trong could have catch up and take the third position for the race B.
Yeah, I think so as well. They definitely compromised each other with all that battling in the early stages. We can say that Arno's crew has, his garage crew, are breathing a sigh of relief as they've managed to finish a race.
Arno, who by the way made the fast lap with a 40.699, almost 40.7. And now we will see a race B where we start to see some big names, because race B will have names like Shermu, Evely, and some brand new rookies that are actually doing a great performance lately, as Zenitho or Hina, who was the other person who's gonna join the race B. It was Evely, Shermu, Hina, Zenitho, and Morticia, of course. Morticia as well is gonna be in race B. We have a combination of veteran talents and brand new talents that have arrived more precisely from the Supernova races, as Hina and Zenitho are.
Yeah, so those 5 now with the addition of the top 3 of C. And with Yorkie's pace that she displayed out there in C, it's pretty easy for me to assume that she's going to be a factor to try and fight for the top 3 spots. We'll see how that goes, but she certainly got the pace and the consistency, because she kept a really good gap ahead of Arno.
She definitely should, but I have to say that P1 and P2, unless something weird happens, I see them quite decided. I mean, I believe Evely is the absolute favorite to qualify for race A. Shermu is, of course, favorite as well to qualify for race A, and there is where the traffic factor takes place, because we have Morticia, who's always favorite to qualify. She has actually qualified, I think, every race B she has raced so far. She has qualified for race A, but this time she has the competence of absolute monsters, rookie monsters like Zenitho and Hina, and Yorkie as well. So it's gonna be an absolute challenge to qualify for race A. Race A in this track is very expensive, my friends. You really want to qualify good, because if you have to take the position in a race like this one, you will need to invest all your efforts and make the best you can, because defeating people like Morticia, like Evely, like Shermu, it's absolute challenge, career challenge for many of these people who are joining brand new to the competitions. Who are your bets? Look, who are gonna be the 3 that will qualify for race A?
Oh, well, I need to double check exactly to see who is starting the race, because my memory can suck sometimes.
Evely,
if I just scroll up here.
Shermu,
Yeah.
Hina, Zenitho, Morticia, Yorkie, Arno, and Sam Phoenix.
Well, if we had to, if I'm going to pick based on just general consistency of where these people tend to place, it's got to be probably in order: Evely, Zermu, and then I would say Morticia, because Hina and Sinizo, as quick as they are still coming to grips with the how to drive these things more consistently, and also race these things in traffic. That's the bigger thing. we're going to see, though, is this is again where I'm going to stress being patient. We don't want to see anyone arcade-style racing their way through the pack. Don't use other people as brakes. Don't use them as walls. They are not there to help you turn. You're supposed to race them, not bowling. It's like they're not bowling pins.
Exactly. Very important. The grid is being placed. Nikuri, who took this chance to drive his bike a bit. And let's see how people place their cars. We'll have Morticia in the Lotus Elise with the Yorkie says Evely, Shermu and Morticia sounds right to me. It's the most for people who are used to these races, and if we check the results and experience, it sounds like the most reasonable top 3, but I really have trust in Hina, Zenitho and Yorkie, because they really perform well. Like, they are not far at all from this group of races that sometimes race in the group B and tend to qualify. Remember that the other rookies like Clifford qualified for race A in one of the events in this category. It was Mango Kai, if I remember correctly. Arno Taurus also qualified for race A once, if I remember correctly. Hina as well. So anything can happen here. So even if the names sound like the safe bet, I'm pretty certain. I could say, this is what I think. My top 3 is same as Yorkie's, but I'm pretty certain that that's not gonna be the top 3. We are gonna have at least one surprise. I'm pretty sure that one of those 3, even if are our favorites, won't qualify. Now we have to see if it's gonna be Hina, if it's gonna be Zenitho, it's gonna be Yorkie, and even Arno or Sam. They have it a bit more difficult because they are at the bottom of the grid, but...
However, Sam has just shouted out in local chat, quote, "I will stay behind and look at the show from the best place for that." So she's expecting absolute chaos up ahead of her.
Oh my god. These guys are gonna kill each other for the position. Evely with the Audi, Shermu with the KTM, if I'm not wrong, Hina with a brand new customization of an invisible car, which in theory should be a Ferrari.
Who was in the 4th position? There's no car.
Zenitho. Zenitho, despierta, wake up.
Oh,
Zenitho.
He's way back there.
Okay.
Okay, so yes, so his Porsche is coming up to the grid. Quick correction, Zermu is actually in a KTM crossbow.
KTM.
The motorcycle manufacturer out of Austria.
That's it. The KTM.
And he did a beautiful job painting that thing.
Yeah, I feel Shermu likes these short and wide cars because the Cupra is kinda the same vibe, you know, short and wide. So it feels like to be the signature of Shermu, these kind of cars.
Yeah, it's one of the smallest, visually smallest cars on the grid, but again, just as a reminder for those watching who may not be too familiar with the series, every single car's hitbox in the GTSS pack is exactly the same, both in mass and dimensions. So you could have the widest car with the longest wheelbase, have the exact same hitbox as the tiny Lotus Elise.
Zenitho will go with the Porsche, Yorkie with the NSX, Arno with the Morgan, and Sam with the Raptor. No changes in the last 3 positions, same cars that they raced the race A. And it's time to start.
Yorkie is going to be attempting to navigate around Zermu if she gets up to him as just wheels and a driver, because she cannot see the car's body, but 30 seconds for the race to begin.
hope the rest don't see Hina as I see her, because to me she looks invisible.
I see her car
Good,
personally, but it could be a number of drivers. It's totally random as to who can see and can't see. All right, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and off they go. It's a good start for all drivers. No slowdowns quite yet. They all got a good jump, but it's Sinizo trying to go up the inside of Hina, but screws that up as they go a little bit too wide. It's just a complete tussle. I can't even keep up with this. I can see what Kira has problems with sometimes, but it is Sinizo ahead of Hina. Nothing really changed too much there in the grand at the end of all that, except for Yorkie sweeping around the outside of all of them. Takes position. She now moves into 3rd place. Meanwhile, Morticia takes advantage of the tussle of Hina and Sinizo and goes by, as does Arno. So positions right at the tail end of the lap are shuffling like crazy. But it looks like now everyone's gotten into line, and that is your first lap of Race B.
Race the first lap, a lot of position change, but what's certain is that Evely and Shermu took advantage of that mess and they're starting to create a gap. What they must do now: Shermu, follow Evely, do not attempt to pass her, and escape from the group if you want secured qualification for Race A. In the meantime, Yorkie is P3. Look, Yorkie could make her first Race A of the season. Meanwhile, a little collide between Morticia and Zenitho made Zenitho lose a bit of track, and he is now a bit far from Morticia in that fight for P4, where Hina is the car leading this raid to Yorkie's position. Morticia is very close to her, but still Yorkie has enough gap to be at least safe in the turns and be able to do a clean lap if she doesn't lose focus. Meanwhile, on the lead, Evely and Shermu are just driving peacefully. They said, you know, Shermu, let's make this, let's go to Race A, we don't need to be enemies here, we can be enemies in Race A, but for now, let's escape together and secure our qualification. Yorkie, P3, she's gonna try the same, but she won't have the draft of anyone, which will make a bit harder for her to keep the position against the attacks from Morticia, Hina and Zenitho, who are right there already.
Well, I've got my cam right on Yorkie looking backward, and she by herself has some really good pace going. It's very nice, very smooth and consistent. Hina, meanwhile, though a little bit squirrely on the track behind her, is using that draft to her advantage to keep that pace. With Morticia unable to make any moves just yet. She did. Oh,
Hina
never mind.
Hina against the wall, and against the slow zone. That is slowed down Morticia and Zenitho a lot, especially Morticia, but and even especially more Hina, because she stepped a lot on that slow zone. Zenitho takes P4. He's leading now the group that wants to take P3. Morticia right behind Zenitho, and Yorkie comfortably created a little more of a gap over them with this collision. This is the advantage of having clean air. You don't need to worry about losing time because of others' movements, because you can just do your regular practice lane, let the others kill each other, and that will lead you to the Race A. That's what she's doing right now, while Morticia tries to take the position on Zenitho, and Hina right behind them. All of them want to qualify.
It's a bit of a repeat of Race C right now, where the ones who could be battling for third are scrapping it out pretty, not quite as intensely as the trio in C, but it is a bit scrappy nonetheless.
And Hina tries the move on Morticia, but Morticia has more speed. Okay, that was a that's a good move from Hina, who takes the position over Morty. We will see if Morty managed to take it back, but doesn't seem so for now, because she's really close to her. Meanwhile, Zenitho is now taking the chance of Hina and Morticia fighting each other, and he's gonna try to close the gap with Yorkie.
Yeah, I think what Hina needs to do right here, even though she did qualify ahead of Morticia, is maybe consider using Morticia's experience to her advantage and just hang on to the tail end. Maybe try not to make any moves just yet. It's still very early in the race, with about 10 more laps to go, which is a long time here. That's 40 seconds a lap. So, about 41 to 42. Because they cannot afford to lose Senizo right here, because if Senizo is still continuing to run away, and then will eventually, maybe at this rate, catch Yorkie's draft, and then they will truly be gone. However, if Senizo does catch up to Yorkie, will he disturb Yorkie enough that they'll slow them both up, and Hina and Morticia will be right back in this?
That's definitely something to consider, because yeah, right now they have Yorkie has clean air, Zenitho has clean air as well, but in the moment Zenitho managed to catch Yorkie, if he managed, they are gonna fight for the position because it's gonna be the second half of the race, and it's the last spot to qualify for race A. And if they disturb each other too much, here it is Morticia waiting like a shark, like a predator, for their mistakes, for their fights, to take P3 and qualify for race A.
And speaking of mistakes, Yorkie did hit the grass coming out of turn 2 at the beginning of this lap here. So Zenitho is now in Yorkie's draft.
Zenitho has now the possibility to qualify for the first time to race A in, I believe, his second race in GTSS, could be?
I could have been mistaken. I think Zenitho is still just slightly out of range, so he's not quite there yet. Yorkie has gotten her bearings back and is maintaining the gap. Meanwhile, Morticia is actually now, having broken away from Hina slightly, making up ground on both of them.
They all have a quite similar race pace. We have to see now, even if now some gaps have been created, they are all really competitive, and they are all on paper fighting for this qualification for race A, even if
another slow zone for Yorkie. Here comes Zenitho, now within draft range, if he can maintain this. Yep, he is definitely in draft range now, so it's on for third.
Now it is Zenitho's opportunity to take P3 and qualify for race A. Let's see
Yorkie into the grass again.
Zenitho is really close. Meanwhile,
probably won't be making a move just yet. Oh, never mind. I stand corrected. He's going up the inside.
And he takes the position.
Pushes Yorkie a bit wide, though. Maybe.
That movement was not very good.
Yeah. You got to make sure, as the inside passing car, that you're not squeezing people out into the wall like that.
Zenitho is at the moment P3, and if the race finishes right now, he could qualify for race A. In the meantime, Evely and Shermu keep their peace treaty, and they don't fight each other because they both want to qualify for race A comfortably. So the fight is gonna be here for this last spot, P3. Zenitho starts to create a little gap over Yorkie, but if he hits again the slow zone, he's gonna lose that gap.
Yorkie in the slow zone yet again. Turn 2. Morticia is gaining. Should be, I think, in draft range now for 4th place. At least right on the cusp of it.
They are still quite close to each other. We see in this twisty zone that we can see them all from the same camera angle. But
Morticia is nailing that S section. I really need to memorize these corner names. I'm just going to say the S's. Is nailing those corners a bit better, especially that second half, where both Zenitho and Yorkie tend to overdrive the second corner, so that then it's a little bit compromised entering the final bit. So, and Morticia keeps a nice center line going through that section to have more of an exit speed, and as you can see right here, she's right on Yorkie's tail.
And they are still not too far from Zenitho, although they only have now 4 laps to try to catch up and take that P3, otherwise it's gonna be for Zenitho.
They've got to be as clean as they can. Senizo has been, he's gotten the knack of this track now, this latter half of the race. Not quite as many mistakes. Could be because he's all by himself now, not needing to worry about it. Meanwhile, we have Morticia right there, tried to make a move, but I think thought better of it and is holding back at the moment. Hina, though, is not going to wait. She is right there. They are nose to tail bumping off each other.
Yeah, they are all together now, and that's very good news for Zenitho, who right now is qualifying for race A. Ooh. Morty takes P4, and she's gonna try in the last 3 laps to take... Oh, my camera. In the last 3 laps, Morty is gonna try to catch up Zenitho and take P3. Zenitho needs to hold the position 3 laps, no mistakes for 3 laps, and P3 is his. But
Yorkie kind of tapped the rear end of Morty there through that second half of the S's and gave her just a little bit of a boost. I don't think it's enough unless Zenitho messes up.
Yeah, it's only 2 laps now to go. Zenitho stepped the Slowson, I believe, but he still has a good gap over the rest. Morty needs to close 1.5 seconds in 2 laps, or she will be eliminated. Meanwhile, Evely comfortably leading the race. Shermu accepted that this is the best decision for them to just not fight and accept the result they got in qualify.
Into the wall. Hina tried to make a move on Yorkie. They both went into the wall as a result, but Hina is ahead. She'd been hounding Yorkie for the past few laps and finally got by. Maybe not in the cleanest of ways, but there is now 1 lap to go. Yorkie making the move back up the inside to try and take that spot back that she thinks deserves. It belongs to her, but they both go into the wall again. Well, almost. Yorkie does tap it. So quite the battle for that position back there. Evely with a healthy gap over Zumu, and I really think, yes, this is probably Senizo's race for advancement.
He cannot make any mistake in the last 2 turns.
Evely Onyx, your winner of
P1.
race B.
Shermu P2, and Zenitho qualifies for race A, ahead of Morticia and ahead of Hina and Yorkie. What a race this, especially the contenders for the P3, which were Zenitho, Morticia, Yorkie and Hina, gave us a great race to watch here. Arno and Sam Phoenix were quite behind them, 30 seconds. Respect to the lead, and the fast lap for Hina in the end. Well done. With a 40.1. Final result: Evely, Shermu and Zenitho qualify as the top 3 of the race, and after that Morticia takes P4, Hina takes P5, Yorkie takes P6, Arno Taurus P7, and Sam Phoenix P8. Still, what an amazing fight for race for P3 that we watched. And now it's time for the final race. Since I want to be fully focused, I'm gonna go to the bathroom for a second. Wait for me.
Sure thing. And to answer Cree-Cree's question, sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, which is how we see it spelled. It's like CRL or something like that. But the 2 Alpinium drivers were pretty much nose to tail for the entire race. They finished in 7th and 8th, Arno and Sam respectively. Got 1 driver doing warm-up laps out there. Wouldn't be a bad idea for others if they wanted to. Nothing stopping them if they want to get some practice in.
I am back. I am back here.
No.
Alright, so let's do some warm-up laps before we start with the race. You know, I have been racing here in these tracks and in these competitions for years now, and still every time we have to race I get super nervous, and I think that leads me to mess it up the first laps of the race and then having to do my comebacks afterwards. So let's try to focus, to not get nervous.
Yeah, I should do some warm-ups too. I was telling people that while you were away, that wouldn't be a bad time to get some practice in.
Yorkie says, even without mistakes, I was not going to keep back the others. They were all faster drivers. Honestly, Yorkie, you are not that far from them as you think, eh? You were really, I mean, if you were able to stay in the margin, let's say, of taking P3 for 18 laps, it means that you actually have a good pace, and you cannot keep up without having a good pace in that case. So yeah, it was really a possibility, definitely. My FPS are dropping a bit when I see to the pit lane, I guess because of the avatars there.
Yeah, I drop all that down when it comes to race time. I think I even lowered my LOD to 3. I always have it set to 4, but I'm trying to be a bit more conservative with how pretty everything looks at this track. I especially lag when I'm coming through that second half of that square complex of corners.
Ah, so you as well, right? It's like in the very same spots.
It doesn't happen when I'm all the way back here toward the southeast corner of the sim where the S's are.
It is something around here.
Although when I do get about halfway closer to the pit lane, then they kind of kick in. I don't know, it could be my LOD just trying to load stuff, because there's a lot of stuff over there.
Okay, here we go.
How is she getting up all warmed up?
Cherno says, let me change then. Appreciate it, Cherno. It's always appreciated that. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's always appreciated that spectators reduce their skips and complexity to the minimum possible, so that helps drivers with the performance of their computers in the race. I mean, of course, there's something obvious affecting this, which is me doing live stream, but I think it's worth it to watch. I'm pretty certain
Okay.
it's one avatar in particular, but I cannot say this one, I believe, maybe.
We have 21 laps for this race. That's 3 more than the previous 2, which isn't too much. It doesn't sound like too much longer, but that's Again, that's 40 to 42 seconds a lap.
Alright. I'm gonna mute Discord now so we don't lose focus. Good luck, Luke.
Alright, yep. Best
See
of luck
after
to you.
the race. Alright. We are along now. Along in this intense race we are gonna have. See that everything is working fine. Alright, so we have 4 people ahead of us and we have Evely right here. So taking the reaching Luke, or actually I don't see Luke's car, wait. I don't see your car. Before it's too late, I don't see your car. Thanks. Thanks. Alright, I see all cars now. If I don't speak, you know it's because I'm focused. It's gonna happen. I have this activated. Yes. Good luck to all drivers. And let's have a good race. "21 laps, it's not that much." I'm more nervous than usual. I guess it's because I'm streaming. Okay, let's go. Oh. Okay, okay. It was tough because we spent when I'm mute.
And I'm here as well.
I got P5 in the end, but I was like super back. At some point I was fighting with Shermu and Zenitho for the last position, but in the end I got rid of them and I spent the whole race basically trying to catch up the group of Evely and Thunder and Candy for P3, but I got out with I got the group, I reached the group, but it was like in the last lap. Basically in the last lap I got them, and I only could take P5 from Candy in the end. I almost take P4 from Thunder in the last turn, but I made a little mistake there, going too wide. But yeah, okay. Given the circumstances, it's not bad. I mean, it's the worst position I got in the season so far. But it's a good 5 position. I think it's a good p5. It's a good p5. Disputed with, in the end, with both Candy and Thunder, especially. Not with Evely, because Evely, thanks to that fight that we had behind, she could take a little advantage, and it was already possible to reach her. But yeah, I guess it was a quite good result. We got rid of the last positions. We catch up the fight for the P3. So it was fine. How was for it? I guess you won. Yes, of course. I guess Valky was P2.
Yeah.
Evely P3.
I seem to be glitched. I can't stand up. I need to relog.
It sounds to me like a hack or something.
Oh wait, I see what happened. I was looking at the car through Stig because I had to place the podium board, so I was trying to stand up as Luke through Stig.
Okay. Yeah, not definitely not the way.
Let's turn my graphics back up.
I'm sweating a bit. Oh.
My fingers aren't quite as dead as I thought they'd be. They do feel just a little sore, just like very subtly sore in the palm of my hand. But
yeah, I mean, I don't feel tired either. Like, my hand is okay, and just holding the breath a lot of times just to keep the focus, and it's also hot here, so when I race, for some reason when I race, the temperature of the room increases by 5 degrees or something like that. I don't know what it is, but I start to sweat.
It's your PC.
No, it's not. It's just my body reacting to the tension of the race. But yeah.
Okay, well that too. But the PC would help a tad. So maybe the PC did like 1 degree, and then your body heat did the other 4.
Okay, so it was a good race in the end. It was quite clean. I like that. Clean racing. Good fights from also, even if they finish, I don't know how they finished in the end. Shermu and Zenitho was Shermu P7 and Zenitho P8. Okay. Yeah, very good fight. Good fights.
Yeah.
Was for the whole race seeing the group of 3 ahead and saying, okay, let's be patient. Let's wait until they make a mistake or something. Yeah. Well done, Evely. Evely takes P3. She's back to the podium since race 1, since Tokyo. She got P2 in Tokyo, and now she's back to the podium here in Herrenhaus.
Yep. From the easiest track to one of the most difficult tracks. So
yeah.
It's a good split.
And coming from race B, don't forget that.
Ah, that's right. Yeah, she's had like nearly twice as many laps as us on this place.
Yeah. Also good race from Thunder. We also fucked a bit. Good race from Candy. In the last lap we had a fight there for the P5. And good, of course, a good race from Shermu and Zenitho, that we were at some point fighting each other for position as well. So yeah, everyone raced very well in this race. Valky takes P2. she got P2 in quali and she gets P2 in the race. Today was Valky's day, definitely. Very nice done.
Yeah, very well.
She's in a bikini, even if we are not at Sand Beach.
Yeah, right in the depths of the valley of a mountain range.
And P1 again, the same guy as always, who never gets bored of winning.
Boring.
Look, Carmona takes the win, and it's 4 or 5 already. So from 5 races we have 4 victories for Luke Carmona. The only one he didn't win was Summer Nights, where he had an intense fight with Thunderwave. In that race, it was Thunder who took the victory, but all the other races, Luke Carmona got them, and I believe now mathematically, because Thunder didn't finish. Thunder finished before. I believe. I mean to check the data later, but if not yet, by a little gap, you should be a champion already, I believe. So I think Thunder is the only one who has mathematically options to take the championship. The rest are already out of the content. What I need to know now is how the fight for the 3rd position is, because of course Evely reduced the gap there, and we might decide the 3rd position of the championship in the last race. P2 should be for Thunder already, unless she doesn't attend. So let's see how it goes for next race. Congrats for the podium merge. Congrats for the rest of the racers on this race A, final segment of the event. Very good race, also very spectacular races to see B and C today. I really liked all of them. All of them had some interesting fights going on. We had very nice moments to watch, and I hope it was the same fun for everyone to see. This is the first time I stream an official race. Might be that affected my performance in those 2 corners that I guess everyone noticed. Those who are watching the stream notice there are 2 points, like in the main straight and downhill, that my FPS dropped significantly. That possibly affected me a bit, but still the result is fair. Evely definitely earned that P3. We fucked in the end with Thunder and Candy for the P4 in the last lap, in the last corners, and it was nice. It was nice to stream. I believe for the good of the racing, it's worth it. It's worth streaming this and maybe not getting the best result, rather than winning and not showing everyone in the world the intensity and the fun that this category means and transmits to the drivers. There was a lot of passing between Evely, Candy and Thunder through the mid-late race. Yeah, that definitely that helped me catching them up. They probably, if they didn't fight at all and they just follow each other, I would probably wouldn't be able to catch up. But in the end, I guess I expected it to happen. You know, I expected them to fight for that position in the end, because Valky was too far. I mean, thinking on it coldly, Valky and Luke were already too far. They were not going to catch up. So at least if they're gonna be stuck in a block of 3 drivers, then let's just fight for the positions. Why not? You know, there's not point by then. There's no point in not fighting, because the group is already set, and in the end they decide with each other who's gonna finish ahead. Luckily, I had enough pace to catch them, and that helped me get in P5. But in their situation, I could have done the same. I could have the same confidence to believe, okay, we are this group of 3 people. No one else is gonna take this fight. So let's fight for the position. Who cares? So yeah. At the beginning, it's very important at the beginning to avoid those fights. But once the groups are decided, there I believe the best for the show, and I also believe for the drivers themselves when they are racing, it's way more enjoyable, to be fighting each other for a position rather than just following one person for the whole race and try it in the last minute.
That's up for debate depending on who you ask, but
I mean, that's it. For the last, if you want to get rid of the rest of the people, if you're P1, P2, you do that. And yeah, but once the groups are settled, yeah. But well, that was it for today. Thank you, Luke, for joining. Congrats for the victory.
Thank you very much.
How did you enjoy the event today?
Overall, it went great, I'd say. The racing for both B, C, and I'm going in a weird order there, C, B, and A. Pretty good all around, so. Or, well, then again, I'm only getting your word of how race A went. I saw nothing the entire time, so.
So, Valky, I don't know if you saw Valky behind you. But
well, I knew that she was behind me the whole time.
So she was behind you all the time. Okay, then you know what Valky's race was. The thing is that it was there was a fight between.
No, Valky didn't have to deal with anything. She was on my tail from the beginning. Never got challenged and just fell off from me at some point and just kind of ran her own race.
Yeah, so basically the rest of the race was at the beginning there were some position switch. I mean, Evely took advantage, Luke and Candy particularly, and there we were a bit Thunder at me and Shermu and Zenitho. Then at some point Shermu and Zenitho catched up. We started to fight, both of them and me. That gave the opportunity to Thunderwave to escape from us. And yeah, for a moment it was Evely with Candy fighting, Thunder in the middle, and myself with Shermu and with Zenitho. Then after that I escaped from the fight with Shermu and Zenitho. I keep more or less the same pace than Thunderwave the whole race. Thunderwave reaches both Evely and Candy, and after that I end up catching the 3 of them as well. And basically in the last 2 laps I believe, we are all together in a single line, and there is where I attempt to take some positions there from Candy first, as well from Thunder, and that is the opportunity Evely takes to create a little gap of 1 second from us and secure P3 in the last lap. So yeah, it was groups were changing. I don't know exactly how the last 2 positions finished, if Zenitho kept fighting Shermu until the end or not.
Well, they had an 8-second gap nearly between them at the end, so.
Okay, so yeah, they didn't in the end, but yeah, for a good part of the race there were fights between them. Yeah,
it's good to show with even the lower turnout. It could be because there was a long gap and people forgot the race was happening, or it was a difficult track and some people maybe didn't want to try it out, or real life reasons were getting in the way. But even with these lower field races with just like 5 people in it, and then with these last 2 being 8 people, still loads of fun. Still feels like a big event with lots of stories that can be made. So
yes, definitely.
So yeah, big reminder for everyone, in 1 week, well, technically 6 days, it is the season finale of GT Super Endurance. There should be at least 1 extra kart entry that I have been made vaguely aware of. Not sure if it's official.
No info yet, no spoilers. I know who it is, but...
Well, yeah, I don't think we should say, because who knows what'll happen.
We'll wait until the official announcement.
They would be contenders for the win. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I have to say that I'm not sure yet if I will be able to stream next week, because I will have my mom here at home then the whole week, and maybe she looks at me weird while I live stream, or maybe knowing her, because I know her of course from 31 years, maybe she comes here and starts to talk random things on the microphone, because she's that kind of person, that do those weird things. So I don't know if I will live stream. I will decide during the week after chatting with her, if she doesn't sabotage my streams.
Yeah, it'll be fine if you don't. We have Evely, who usually records her races. I might record mine. Not sure yet. But you've got to focus anyway. It's a long 90 minutes, and so. But you won't have to worry about pit exit at least, because it's just a wall, no lines crossing. And
Good,
such.
like last one then. Okay, so that's it. I think there's nothing more to add. Everyone, thank you for watching today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the race. I hope we can count on you to join us next week to see the finale of the GTSC season, and in 2 weeks the finale of the GTSS season as well. Last weekend of the month, and after that we'll have the off season with some important announcement to make. And until then, I guess that's all we have to say. Congrats to all the participants, good racing today, and see you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.